Hello, how's it going? I was trying to live stream, but YouTube live stream doesn't seem to work, so I guess I'll make a video. I'd rather stream because I prefer talking directly to people about Dhamma than just, talking out of my head. I'd rather respond to some questions. But I did want to talk about the 5 aggregates recently. So that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video, is the 5 aggregates. So, people have different views on what exactly experience is. But a lot of them are just views. What the Buddha did was sort of just observe what's happening and sort of just see, what experience is. I know that sounds kind of like the same thing, but one's in an interpretation through perception and thinking, and it's conditioned, and the other, there's a mosquito, and the other is like just observing what experience actually consists of. And what he discovered is what he later named the 5 aggregates. And please pay attention to what I'm about to say, and try to notice if what the Buddha said experiences holds up. So don't just think about what I'm saying. Don't immediately try to disprove it by your ideas. Like, some people say it's all one, some people say it's all God, it's all holy. Just please take a look yourself. Like, follow along. I'm gonna be going over the 5 aggregates and just try to see if it's actually that, like if that's actually what's going on. Because so the first of the 5 aggregates that we find in experience is form, right? Forms. I have form, that tree has a form. There's so many forms. There's forms. Thoughts have a form. Forms, basically something observable, right? Forms. Colors, shapes, tactile objects, just forms, right? And we have the senses, right? And the senses, they make contact with the forms. So the eyes see, the ears hear, the tongue tastes, right? We have different forms for each sense base. So one part of experience is forms. Can you directly see that experience constitutes itself with forms? Just take a while, look at the forms, see the form, whatever form, doesn't matter. Okay, the next part is feeling. So every form or every type of contact we make with the senses has a feeling tone. So every contact with a form is either pleasant, it's either unpleasant, or neither pleasant nor unpleasant. So I guess neutral. I prefer the term neither pleasant nor unpleasant. Is that true? So that's the second aggregate. The first one is form. And the second aggregate is form has a feeling tone. Like, for example, some forms may make you feel pleasant. Some forms may give you an unpleasant feeling, and some forms have neither a pleasant nor unpleasant feeling. Is that true? Can you notice that? Like, look at whatever form right now. It's gonna be a form, and it's gonna have one of these 3 feeling tones, either pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. Can you see that? I'll give you a little time. Really examine, investigate experience right now. Don't worry about what you think experience is. Do you see there's forms, and that forms have a feeling tone to them? Okay, the next aggregate is perception. So yeah, we have just form, right? Form is not a perception, that is just a form. And forms have feeling, right? And then we have perception. Like the form would be what you, like, let's give a rose for example. The form would be directly what you see, like before any interpretation, before anything, just the sheer seeing of it, right? That's the form. Just the raw seeing, just the seeing, that's form. The feeling is usually for roses, I assume, pleasant. So the rose is seen, and it gives off it's not gives off, it's the feeling tone of it is pleasant. And perception is you recognize it. You don't have to think about it. It's recognized as rose, red, plant, right? The mind labels it, recognizes it, perceives it, right? That's perception. That's the third aggregate, perception. So now we have forms, feeling, and perception, right? And there's 5 aggregates, there's 2 more. So then we have mental formations, or just formations. So that's like choices, movement, emotions, thoughts, right? Agitation, clinging, craving, you know, aversion, ill will, hatred, anger. Just these mental formations, right? There's definitely mental formations, like a thought, a feeling, emotional state. That's not a form. It has form, like the 5 aggregates basically are what experience is, but there's form. Forms have a feeling tone, they're perceived, and there's mental formations. And the last aggregate is consciousness. And there's 6 types: eye consciousness, ear consciousness, tongue consciousness, tactile consciousness, nose consciousness, no, the mind consciousness. The mind, like there's obviously a certain knowing of mental formations, right? Like like there's obviously the mind. The Buddha treated the mind as another sense base, not a sense organ, but a sense base, because like just the same as you smell with the nose and see with the eyes or hear with the ears, you basically cognize mental formations, right? You're aware of thoughts. Something sees the thoughts. There's like a sense of thoughts, thinking, sense of emotions. It's sensed somehow, and that's the mind. That's what the Buddha called the mind. And consciousness is just simply these 6 types of knowing, like seeing, eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, right? Skin, touch consciousness, and mind consciousness. And if you observe experience, there's nothing outside of that. There's no experience that isn't one of the 5 aggregates. Like you experience forms, you experience feeling, there's perception, there's these mental constructs, and it's known. It's either seen, heard, felt, smelled, tasted, you know, or cognized, right? That's all. Like, tell me, can anything you've ever experienced or that has ever been experienced, anything in experience be found apart from these 5 aggregates? Or is it just these 5 aggregates? Like really, try and look. Like I'm not asking you to believe me. I'm not asking you to believe the Buddha. I'm just telling you, take a look. Do you see the 5 aggregates? Like the Buddhism has many things to talk about. Today I'm just talking about the 5 aggregates. I'm not going into dependent origination too much, or craving or clinging. Just can you see that the experience is just these 5 aggregates? Anything else would have to be inferred, like some true self, like a self. Like, where's the self? Is it anything but these 5 aggregates, I ask you? Is experience anything apart from form, feeling, perception, mental formations, and consciousness? Because some people reify consciousness, say it's all consciousness, but that's just a lack of discernment, I'd say. Like, it's not. Like, everything is known because consciousness is one of the aggregates, right? There wouldn't be knowing without consciousness. But also you can't say everything is consciousness. Like, form is not consciousness, feeling is not consciousness, perception is not consciousness, thoughts are not consciousness. Consciousness knows thoughts. Consciousness is just simply the knowing quality, and it's also conditioned. Eye consciousness is conditioned by the eye and sights, right? And the body. If your eyes got stabbed out, you wouldn't see. There would be no eye consciousness, right? It's not always there. Like, you could be passed out. Like, there would be a discontinuity of consciousness. It depends on the body. It depends on the mind. It depends, right? It's dependent just like everything else. Some people reify consciousness, call it everything is consciousness, everything is one. But no. There's these 5 distinctions. Don't lose discernment for the sake of ease. Stay discerning these things. See them clearly as separate yet interdependent and conditioning each other. But still discernible things that can be discerned and seen right now. Always. The 5 aggregates. Everything is in the 5 aggregates that we call experience. I'm not saying nirvana is an aggregate. I'm not talking about nirvana right now. I'm talking about experience as we know it can be described pretty smoothly with the 5 aggregates. Now, let's go a step further. Let's apply the 3 marks to the 5 aggregates, okay? And I'll give a simile the Buddha gave. Let's say there was a king, a great king, and he was an owner of the kingdom. Like, the kingdom was his. He was the master of the kingdom. It was his kingdom, right? Could the king say, I wish to tax this person, and he would tax this person? If it's his kingdom, yes, he could. Could the king say, I wish to execute this person, and that person would get executed? Well, if the kingdom was under his control, and it was his kingdom, then yes, he could say that. If the king said, build this castle right here, would they build a castle there? Yes, because it's his kingdom, right? It's his, he owns it. Now let's look at the 5 aggregates, right? Let's start with form. Is form permanent or impermanent and subject to change? So form is impermanent and subject to change. Like, forms change. Like, look at my form change. 1, 2. Oh, my form changed. Oh, my form changed again. Oh, it changed again. Oh, look at this stick. Look at this stick. Wait. Oh, now it's not. Now its form is impermanent. It decays. Like, look, this leaf used to be a nice green leaf. Now it's not. I used to be a little boy, but now I'm like not. And I'll be an old man eventually, or maybe dead. Eventually I'll be just a rotting corpse. Not this body, this form. Impermanent. Subject to change, aging, decay, right? So, then, can you command your form? Let me be like this, let me be like... Could I be like, let me be a woman right now? Or let me change race. Let me look like my friend. Or let me be 10 years younger. Oh no, let me be 10 years older. You can't just decide what the form is gonna be. I'm stuck being like this. I can work out, I can do skincare, I can do whatever, you know, but that's just changing the conditions. I can't change the form. Like, I can't be like, okay, right now I want to be short, right now I want to be tall, right now I want to be huge, right now I want to be small. I can't do that. It's not under my complete control. Why I gave the simile of the king? Because the kingdom is owned by the king and it's under his complete control. But if you can't decide what your form is like, then is the form yours? Can I say, I want my heart to stop beating? I want my nails to grow. I want my hair to grow. No. So it's not under my control. So it's not me, mine, or myself. It's not owned by me. Because if it was my form as a self-owned, then I would be able to decide, let it be old, let it be young, let it be like this, let it be like that. Just as a king can say, let there be a castle, Let me text this person. Let me execute this person. So, I ask you then, if something is impermanent, subject to change, not to be regarded as me, mine, or myself, because you lack the control over it, or ownership really, then is that stable or unstable? Satisfying or unsatisfying? Suffering? So the answer is it's unstable, it's unsatisfying, it's suffering. Right? Form is subject to change, impermanent, unownable, and therefore unstable, unsatisfying, subject to suffering. Let's go to feeling. Is feeling permanent or impermanent? Obviously impermanent, subject to change. Sometimes things feel nice, sometimes things feel unpleasant, sometimes the feeling is neutral. So it's not permanent, it's subject to change. Can you say, let's say I don't like pain. Can I say, let's say pain gives me an unpleasant feeling. See, pain and unpleasant feeling are not the same. Don't lose your discerning capability. Don't lump things that are separate into the same category. Like pain and unpleasant feeling are not the same. Pain the form of pain produces unpleasant feeling for most people, right? These are not the same. Some people enjoy pain, surprisingly. So the pain and the feeling is not the same. Don't lose discernment. Discernment is where investigation is applied. Like, maintain discernment, see things clearly. Don't lump things in together. So we went from form, let's go feeling. Feeling is impermanent, subject to change, right? You can't say let it feel pleasant, let it feel unpleasant, let it not feel at all. You can't choose. Once something feels pleasant, it feels pleasant until the conditions change and it no longer is there. You can't stop feeling. Oh, there's a guy walking there. I'm gonna be a little quiet because I'm kind of screaming. Yo. So yeah, you can't influence feeling. You can't say let me feel like this, let me not feel like this, let me feel a different way. So again, not under your ownership. Just like the king, he can say let the castle be built, let that house be destroyed. You can't say that. So it's not self. And if it's impermanent and not self, that means it's unstable, cannot be relied on, and therefore is unpleasant, unsatisfying, dukkha. Let's go to perception. Is perception permanent or impermanent? Again, impermanent, subject to change. And it cannot be owned, because it cannot be controlled, because you cannot say, let me perceive an elephant when there's no elephant to perceive. You can't say, let me perceive this, let me not perceive this, right? Not self, not under control. So it's unstable, cannot be relied on, therefore it's unsatisfying and dukkha. Because dukkha is not simply, oh, it feels bad, that's unpleasant feeling. Dukkha is it stable? Is it reliable? Can it be relied on as refuge? Or is it contingent? Right? You may have nice conditions, but they're contingent. A family member may die. You may get ill. Things may change because they're impermanent. They cannot be controlled and they're impermanent. That means they're contingent. That's why they're dukkha, because they're not under your control or influence. They are contingent. Pleasant conditions are contingent. Same with perception. Let's look at mental formations. Are they permanent or impermanent? Impermanent. Are they under your control? Can you say, let me think this, let me feel this, let me have this emotion, let me not have this emotion, let me not think this, let me, let my mind be, like if you're distracted, can you just say, let me be concentrated right now? No, you have to cultivate conditions for concentration with meditation. So it's not under control, it can be influenced, right? Because it's conditioned, it can be reconditioned, but it's not under direct control, so it's not self. And if something's impermanent, subject to change, cannot be relied on or owned, is it satisfying or is it dukkha? It's dukkha, unpleasant, not unpleasant, it's dukkha, unsatisfying, unstable, cannot be relied on as refuge. Same with consciousness. Can you say, let my consciousness be this, let my consciousness be that? Is it permanent, impermanent? Like I said, I stepped out, no more I consciousness. That's the easy example to understand. Knocked out, no more consciousness right now. Attainment of cessation in meditation, consciousness ceases. It's impermanent, unstable, And this one's tricky because most people reify this. They call it awareness, they call it God, they call it ultimate reality, they call it whatever. But that's just not completely honest to experience. That's the most honest criticism is, well, it's not always. Not everything's consciousness. Clearly there are distinctions, and they say that's just a perception, but it's not. Feeling is not a perception. Form is not a perception. There is perception, there is form, there is feeling. These are separate categories. Do not lump them in together. They only depend on each other because they condition each other, right? If something has a pleasant feeling, it's gonna have a perception, I don't know, nice flower instead of ugly flower. And it might have a mental formation of reaching to pick it, or, you know, so they are conditioning each other, but they're clearly distinct, right? Again, don't dull discernment. Keep discernment. That's where investigation and wisdom can be cultivated. So yeah, these are the 5 aggregates. They're all impermanent, subject to change, not to be regarded as me, mine, or myself, and unstable, unsatisfactory, dukkha. That's what experience is. Thanks for watching. See you in another video.